My 5th and final Warped Tour was by far the best. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm obviously going to be talking about my final time attending Warped Tour. Obviously the festival is ending their cross-country yearly runs after this summer, and this was actually my 5th year, like I said. I've been going since 2014, the year I graduated high school. And it's just crazy to think that it's actually over now. Let me know in the comments section if you want me to do a Warped Tour memories video in the next couple of days once the actual festival is completely over. I was thinking I could sit down and reflect on the past 5 years and like my best memories and moments from Vans Warped Tour. Let me know if you want to see that. But today we are going to be talking about the July 30th Warped Tour date in Charlotte, North Carolina, the one that me and my boyfriend John attended just a few days ago. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this was by far my best Warped Tour date I've ever attended. I got to see like 14 or 15 different bands throughout the day, and that's like by far the most I've ever seen at one date before. I was surprised that I was able to see as many bands as I wanted to, pretty much every single one that I wanted to see, except for one, and I will get to that in a minute. But before we get into that, I want to give a huge thank you to Austin Knight of Waterparks for completely hooking this up for us. We didn't even ask him for this. He just offered to provide us with free entry into the venue, obviously, and of course backstage passes, which, like I said, we did not expect. He just kind of threw it at us and we were like, okay, like who would say no to that? So thank you again, Austin. I know you're not watching this, but I am just so grateful for him like actually doing that for us. Like it literally made our final Warped Tour so much more memorable, so much more exciting and just unique. It was such a cool experience to be able to be on stage, you know, backstage while bands were playing, and we were able to meet band members and just see some stuff behind the scenes. It was a different experience that neither of us have ever really had before. So I guess I'll jump right into the beginning of this day. We woke up at like 8 a.m. because the venue is like an hour and a half away, and you know there's gonna be traffic for Warped Tour, so we wanted to leave early. And we still somehow ended up a little bit late, just because, like I said, so much traffic, so much bullshit as always. And of course my number one must-see band, the band that I needed to see versus anyone else, Grayscale, were playing at 11:15, and unfortunately we missed it. And I am still so mad about it because, like I said, that was like the number one band I wanted to see that day. And of course they played like first right away, and we were still trying to get into the venue. We were trying to pick up our wristbands, and of course our names weren't on the guest list for some reason, so we had to call Austin and get that figured out. And yeah, it just caused us obviously a delay, and therefore we didn't have time to go see Grayscale because we had to head to the main stage where Waterparks were playing to meet up with them because they were playing right at like 11:30, so right after Grayscale. Just didn't have time to make it to both, and I'm still so upset about it, but luckily I did get a really awesome shirt from their merch tent. It's a shirt that I've been eyeing up for a while now. It's like a blue acid wash tee with a really sick design on it, and I'm super excited to wear it, but I guess that kind of makes up for it, but not really. Obviously, I was so excited to see them live, but hopefully they'll do a tour soon that I can attend. So anyways, after we finally got our wristbands, we were able to actually just cut the entire line and just walk in through like one of the side gates, which I really did not expect. They didn't even check our bags or like anything. They just looked at our wristband and were like, here you go ahead. So that was kind of insane. I've never experienced that before. We head to the amphitheater to Backstage, and of course we see Waterparks just chilling there, kind of waiting to go on next, and we're like kind of nervous. We're like, we're not supposed to be here, but I guess we technically are. So it's just like a weird feeling to be backstage. And we just like approached them, and they were super, super cool. And it was just really awesome to see like what it's like to be on Warped Tour, I guess, just like behind the scenes, to see them like waiting to go on and kind of being a little bit nervous, doing their pre-show rituals or whatever. So we got to watch Waterparks set from the stage. We were literally like right behind them, and I guess a few people had seen us from the crowd. They sent us pictures, which was kind of funny. Once they were done, of course it started to like pour rain right after, and we had to get out of there because we wanted to go see Broco. Now the two stages we pretty much were at the entire day were the Owly FM stage and the main stages. So that made it easy because the two main stages, left foot and right foot, were in the same place at the amphitheater. So we went to go see Broco next, which I was not super familiar with. John was more of a fan of them, so we went to go see them for him mainly, and they were very different. I just did not expect them to look the way that they did, but they were really good performers and they sounded great.
Wired away time today. Now my love, whoa, 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 whoa. And we're gonna freeze in the ride. Shooting down on the sideline. Oh,
Like I said, it had been pouring rain at this time, so we had to like quickly buy, one of those ponchos. John had brought one of his and I had to buy one. It was a mess. It like poured rain for about 2 hours on and off, I would say. It would stop for a while and then it would look like it was getting clear, but of course it would just start up again. So that was kind of annoying, just being in the rain, trying to enjoy the music while it's like literally downpouring half the time. After Don Broco, we headed over to the Journey's Right Foot stage to see Movements, which was one of my must-sees again. I got to see them last year at Warped Tour, which was awesome because they were on a smaller stage, and of course this year they were on the main stage, which was definitely a different experience, and I'm kind of bummed out about it because the pit there in the amphitheater is so small and they don't let people down there. Like once they think it's like overfilling, they stop letting people in. And we were some of those people that were denied entry into the pit, so we had to like stay up in the seats, which really sucked because I wanted to be in the crowd for them, but they just were not letting us in. So we kind of watched them from afar. It was still a good set. I was just, like I said, kind of bummed out because last year I just had the most exciting time because they were on like a small stage and the crowd could get as big as it wanted to and I can get as close as I needed to, but this time it was totally different. But it was still good. I love Movements. They're one of my favorite bands right now, so it was awesome to see them play some of the newer songs. So after that, we went back to the Hourly FM stage. It was basically back and forth the whole day, which is fine. It wasn't that bad. But we went back over there to catch the set from With Confidence, and they were really, really impressive. I did not think they were going to sound as good as they did, but they had a ton of energy, a really great stage presence, and like I said, they sounded on point. And it was still raining around this time when they were playing, and it was crazy because they were playing Voldemort, which talks about better weather, and it actually stopped raining and the sun came out like right towards the end of their set. So that was really kind of cool. But like I said, With Confidence, probably one of the best sets of the day. I know that was one of John's big favorites because he was just kind of blown away by them. I think they chose a really good set list as well. It was just a lot of fun, very high energy, and just so cool and enjoyable. Everyone there seemed really into it, and they had one of the better crowds of the day, I would say.
and I could be fire, and I could be fade, and I could be throwing everything that's there between it. And it will be okay, in spite of rolling. I'm nothing of it days, 'cause even if we jet, I know we never stop. It's like a running game. I know we'll be okay, I know we'll be okay.
So after their set, we had a little bit of a break, and it had stopped raining, like I said, so we decided to go eat at this point, and we took our food to like the seats in the amphitheater. And Mayday Parade was actually going on at this point, so we were kind of watching them casually and just like listening while we ate and talked. And they sounded good as always. I think their Warped Tour sets are always really good because they play like more of the high energy, better songs in their catalog. You guys know I'm really not a huge fan of Mayday Parade, but obviously at Warped Tour they're like one of those staples, and the songs they play are always very high energy and like the better ones in their catalog, I guess. And of course their last album that they just put out I really did enjoy, surprisingly, so I had fun kind of just casually listening to them. But after that, we headed back over to the Hourly FM stage, of course, to catch Palaye Royale. And this is honestly one of the sets that I didn't even really think we were actually going to end up seeing, but we had time, so we did. And this was probably my favorite set of the entire day because they had so much energy, so much charisma, and a huge stage presence. Just, it was so much fun. I gotta show you some of the clips from this because it was like insane. Their singer goes wild, and it was just out of this world fun. They did an MCR cover of Teenagers. It was fantastic. and I am a fan of some of their material, so it was great to see that live, and it sounded like exactly the same as the studio versions, which is very surprising, especially on Warped Tour. But John and I were really impressed with their set. You know, the entire crowd was just so wild and getting into it as well, and that made it so much more fun. Their singer jumped into the crowd at the end, and John actually got a really good clip of that I'm going to show you guys, but either way, this was seriously by far, hands down, the best set of the day. If you have not seen Palaye Royale, I definitely recommend. Immediately after them was As It Is, and at this point it was so freaking hot out. The sun was just beating down, and I was kind of dying at that point, but I wanted to see a little bit of As It Is' set because we really didn't have anything else to see at that point. And I had seen As It Is before in the past, but it was like years ago, like 2015, so they are obviously in a very different era right now. They all look kind of different with the dark hair and the eyeliner and the other eye makeup and all that. Their new album's coming out soon as well, so they're kind of promoting that. As It Is sounded really good, but we weren't able to see their full set because I wanted to go see Knuckle Puck. And as we headed over there, we actually caught like the tail end of Tonight Alive, which I totally forgot they were even on this tour, so we saw like part of their set, and we were trying to get closer for Knuckle Puck, but again, they were not letting people down there for some reason. I was so pissed because I wanted to be close for somebody, but of course they just were not letting us go into the pit, and I was so fucking mad about it. But either way, I got to see Knuckle Puck like from the seats, but pretty close, I would say. And I've seen Knuckle Puck plenty of times before. I actually discovered them at the 2015 Warped Tour, so it's kind of insane to see them so big nowadays. And immediately after them was actually Real Friends, and we caught the first part of them in the pavilion in the same spot we were, and then we decided to go backstage just to see. We were standing backstage during their second half, which was kind of crazy. And Cassidy Pope was going to be going on next, and John really wanted to meet her, but we were kind of too chicken to go up to her because she was about to go on. But it was really cool to see Real Friends backstage. Again, not the biggest fan of this band either, but I really liked their latest album, so hearing some of those songs was really nice. So we stayed backstage while Cassidy Pope was on, kind of listened to her casually. Again, you can't really hear vocals, so it was kind of pointless. But like immediately after that, we see the guys from the main walk over to backstage, and everybody but John O'Callaghan. And then finally John walks over, and we're like, we have to get a picture with him. So we asked him for a picture. He was so cool. John was telling him about like how he reviews music and stuff, and he was like, I hope you're fragile with us. And you know, we're huge fans of the main, so I mean, obviously we've given you guys good reviews. So right before they went on, we went back into the pavilion, into the seats, so we could actually watch the main. And they were one of the best sets of the day, probably my second favorite, because they just always bring it. They have so much energy, and John O'Callaghan is just such a great front man. He really controls the crowd. He gets people involved. He like talks to them in between songs. And it was really funny because he kept introducing the band as like a different band name, like some legendary band like the Rolling Stones or Bob Dylan at one point. It was really funny. They sounded fantastic. Great set. One of my favorite set lists of the entire day. Right after them was State Champs on the left foot, and we just kind of stayed where we were to enjoy their set. They played a lot of their hits as well. We didn't get to see the entire set, which I'm kind of sad about, but I've seen State Champs before, so it wasn't like a huge tragedy, because our last set of the day was Trash Boat, which was around like 7:15, I think. And we actually got super close for Trash Boat. It was the set that we were the closest to the front. We were like second row, and they absolutely killed it. Third favorite of the entire day. They were fan-fucking-tastic. If you have not listened to Trash Boat yet, what are you doing with yourself? Their newest album was absolutely insanely good. I was so impressed and so blown away. This is one of the craziest crowds because of course there were a lot of crowd surfers and people just going insane. And at one point somebody came over me and John and like totally knocked my hat off. I lost it. I could not find it. I had to step back because I did not want to get trampled. And luckily I got my hat back. I don't think it got stepped on or anything, but it was kind of an insane moment. Just, you know, at the end of their set, just everyone went insane. And I think Toby might have came into the crowd at one point. It was incredibly fun though. There was circle pits, mosh pits, like I said, crowd surfers everywhere. Their crowd went hard and I'm very glad for that because they deserve it. They put on a crazy good show and a small band like that from the UK just really deserves people to give it their all. So as soon as they got off stage, their singer Toby headed right over to their merch tent to meet fans, and of course we went over there to meet him because John wanted to get his CD signed, and we thought it would be cool to meet him and get a picture, so we did. And at that point it was like getting close to the end of the day. The only last band that we were potentially wanting to see was Simple Plan, just for the joke of it. And so we headed to Backstage to watch Simple Plan go on, and we just literally sat on stage like with our legs crossed like little children. And you know, John was like getting so emotional and stuff. It was totally a joke. And we didn't stay for their whole set. We just kind of wanted to see them backstage just for the hell of it because it's the last Warped Tour. It's Simple Plan. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean. But anyways, after that, it was the end of the day and I escaped out of there with just a little bit of a sunburn on my shoulders, but nothing awful. I'm not dying out here. It would not be Warped Tour without sunburn. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we also got one of these stickers. I don't know if you can see, but it says Forever Warped, of course, with this classic Van shoe. And yeah, then we headed back home. But I also want to thank every single viewer of ours that came up to us and said hey or took a picture with us. That seriously makes our day. A lot of you have told us like, oh, you saw us at Warped Tour, but you didn't want to bother us or didn't want to come up or were too afraid to come up or whatever. But trust me, like we do not mind. We want people to come up to us. It like really makes our day. We love talking with you guys and meeting people. So thank you to everyone that did come up to us. It was really nice to meet all of you. Everyone was so sweet and so kind and just, I don't know why you guys get nervous to meet us because we're literally like the same as you guys. Like it was awesome though. We really appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, Warped Tour is over at this point, and I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm gonna miss making these recaps every single year. It's just so fun to talk about, so fun to attend because there is nothing else like this. Warped Tour has just been such a tradition for me every single summer, and to know that it's over now, it's just, I really don't even know what to say. But like I said, I'm considering doing a Warped Tour memories video, just kind of a recap of the last 5 years that I have attended, talking about my best moments, memories, and sets that I've seen. So let me know if you guys would like to see that video. Maybe I'll do that this upcoming weekend or within the next couple of days. Let me know. But also let me know down in the comment section how your final Warped Tour went. Who all did you see? Who did you meet? I'd love to hear about your experiences down below. I'd love to hear about your experiences with 2018 Warped Tour down below. And while you guys are here, make sure to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy hearing about my personal experience. Again, huge thank you to Austin Knight of Waterparks. I don't even know what to say. Just so grateful for the experience that we had thanks to you. But anyways guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching and long live Warped Tour.